How long have you been at the comic book making game in general?
I always tell people short story, 10 years, long story, about 15.
That makes about sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That first 5 years is like that buffering period, trying to figure things out, I'm guessing.
Something like that. Yeah, I had done projects. I had done a couple of books in that 5 year span, and they didn't go well. So I had kind of taken a break. I it was like 2 years, and I did two books, and neither of them were great. Um, Neither of them really got to publishing status, like published status. They kind of like I printed them out, but I kind of didn't sell them. I was using them as kind of a calling card to try and get like sign, so Marvel or
Oh,
DC could
hmm
pick me up, but I was not ready, and
like many of us, I feel you there.
yeah. And so, I had kind of took a break and went back to school and finished my degree. And then, about 10 years ago, I kind of really decided, all right, if I'm going to do this, let's really do it. Let's go all in.
Oh, awesome. So, what did you feel like school like helped you in some of this? Did that bring some clarity or understanding to what you wanted to do?
Um, yeah, like I went back to school for animation. So
Oh, cool.
I went to Savannah College of Art and Design,
Oh, rad.
and
Okay.
originally the first time I went was for it was called my degree was called computer art.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and then I took a break for about 5 years, 5 or 6 years or so,
hmm
and then went back, and that degree didn't exist anymore. It was called what was it called? They'd broken it up into 3D animation as special effects. They had broken it up into different majors, so I had to pick a major again, and so I did 3D animation, and so I do believe it helped me. Just learning, I learned storyboarding. I kind of, you know, it's kind of surprising how much you learn when you're dealing with animation that helps you in comic books. So yeah, I would say it
Yeah.
helped.
I like even artistically and understanding like the line and like how to form something and make like simple shapes and turn
Yep.
into something that kind of maybe like simplify just the drawing process and understanding things. I think people forget that like animation is made to be made simple, and
Hmm.
comics
Hmm.
are way more complex because of how we approach characters and design and how we bring them about. But if you go that animation route, you kind of get a lot of shortcuts, it seems, and that are very beneficial in not only creating style but like pushing out work faster, I want to say as well.
Well, I don't know how much you know about SCAD, but SCAD is. I've been telling people since ever since that SCAD is kind of like boot camp for artists. Like whatever you're doing, they really do push you to as hard as you can. So going to SCAD was kind of like learning how to be a professional and how to work when I didn't want to work. So it
Mhm,
definitely pushed me. Animation in particular helped me with storytelling,
mhm,
and understanding how to pace things, how
mm.
to, like I said, storyboard things out, writing scripts, things like that. It really did help me. Um, and that's actually when I came up with my character Heat when I did my second term in school.
Oh, cool. So that's really cool. Also, that like it kind of like gave you the confidence to even pursue this further. And school is like such a debatable thing. I hear it from a lot of people. And like I went to an art school. I majored in creative writing. I found school to be very beneficial for like my approach to it because like when it comes down to the arts and people saying they go to school for drawing, animation, writing stuff like that, everyone always some people rebuttal and be like, oh, well, you can learn that on your own, and they say those skills are great but like you're paying too much for school and like blah 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 all this like, and I can see some viewpoints there for sure. But also like I feel like school really helped me just like find like my voice in a craft and what I really adore doing, and like what you said, a boot camp. Like do you feel like school was like an educational pathway just for you as a creator to really just like make it work and really make you fall back in love with craft and the artistic styles itself?
So, I am of two minds of it, but in general, I tend to think that unless you're so good at whatever it is artistically you want to do, that you can't help but make money off of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you have, like if you're such a great artist that Marvel and DC snap you up, or you're such a great artist that the first book you put out is fantastic and it buys everything, in my opinion, you need to learn and you need seasoning. It doesn't necessarily need to be, the 4 year, college.
Hmm.
You need some sort of training,
Hmm.
because it's not just you know going to school teaches you things. Like, it actually, in my opinion, it helps get you ready for the real world, right? Like I said, SCAD was a boot camp for me. But it taught me, hey, you gotta be ready to draw on days you don't want to draw. You got to be
Yeah.
ready to do work on days you're not ready to do work. And I think a lot of people straight out of high school aren't ready for that. And a lot of times it shows. They don't. It takes them a while. They flounder about. They don't.
Mhm.
They don't kind of know what they're doing. And then years later, yeah, they made it. But I think, yes, going to college for an artist, like I said, unless you're that good or that driven and motivated to learn on your own,
Yeah.
and I think those people are few and far in between personally.
And that intensity you have to learn on your own. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole different ball game, and learning that discipline. And that's
Yeah.
something that's really hard to like instill in
Yep.
yourself no matter what. Even as me as a creator today, like I went to school for music for a number of years and then I switched to writing right after that. And I pursued writing to the end till I got my bachelor's. And I would probably even go back for my master's just because like in the world we live in, you really can't do much with just a bachelor's in writing, if
Right.
I got a master's, it really advanced me and opened up more opportunities. But yeah, I love that because there's a lot of times when you're doing those assignments, like you're tired, you don't feel good, you hung out with friends the night before, you have life stuff going on, you're just like not in the mood,
Yep.
just so overwhelmed. All those type of things really do hit you, and you have to turn in that assignment to get your grade and on
Right.
time with some
Yep.
quality. And that's the way it works no matter what. I mean, even on doing personal projects, you kind of need to have that intensity and that deadline aspect to go about things and getting them completed because you probably have people depending on you as well, writers, artists,
Hmm.
even publishers at that point too. So I love that mindset too that you're saying that, fresh out of high school. I mean, I feel like everyone's a little like not sure. I think getting thrown into such a heavy thing right away, that choosing your college career and going right at it and thinking that's it's kind of like when people do a Kickstarter, they think that's the beginning and end, and
Right.
whatever results there is going to happen. But it's like, no, it's the beginning. Like, take a breath, take a moment, know that there's a whole path after that.
Yep.
But fresh out of high school is a little rough, but I feel like
Mhm.
even I made a better choice after going to school for a bit, taking a little break and then going back, and I really realized what I wanted to do and what I was passionate about to complete school, and with full effort as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I do agree. I think it's a discipline issue. Yeah.
Bring your comic books to life and print your comics with Comics Will Spring.